2010 Ultimate Builder Custom Bike Show in San Mateo, California. We're talking with Mike. Take a minute and give us your background, Mike.
My name is Dr. Mike Ludovico. I'm a chiropractor and a custom motorcycle builder. I'm right here from San Mateo, so this is my hometown. This bike started out as a 1999 Harley Softail Custom. I started out with a stock Harley. I put the frame up on my frame jig and basically kept the neck and a few other vital parts. I hand bent all the tubes. I've got an old tubing bender from 1940 that my friend gave me, and I hand bent all these big arcing tubes to create the frame. I hardtailed the frame so it's got no more suspension. It started out as a Softail. I wanted to make a long, low bike that I fabricated every part on. I built many custom bikes in the past, but this one I wanted to just basically hand make every piece. That's why it took me a lot longer than the last few.
So what you're trying to accomplish was your first complete hand-built bike.
I built hand-built bikes before, but on this one I wanted to take every piece and every part on this bike you see I built by myself. So other than, like I said, the Harley motor and the transmission, every piece I had my hands in on building it.
What was your inspiration for this motorcycle?
I think on this one I was going for like classical looks. I'm inspired by old things like Rolls Royces and Bugattis and all the classic cars. So I was kind of going with more of a classical look. I wanted to build a bike so beautiful that it made you cry when you saw it. So hopefully this will bring tears to your eyes. That was my hope.
Let's talk about the fabrication.
Sure.
Let's start from the front forks and move our way back.
Okay, starting with the front end, I'm running a 23-inch spoke rim. For all you who build bikes, you know how rare that is. It's a really rare rim. I think there's only one person in the country that makes those. I got my hands on one of those, and I started from there. I built a Springer front end all by myself. Every part you see on this Springer, I fabricated. I started with the triple trees, which are actually Buell triple trees, Harley Buell triple trees. And I fabricated the fork tubes and made this custom Springer. As you can see, all the springs are running externally. Gives a little bit of that old inspired look from the old Harley, the old JDs, the early 1900 Harleys. You can see the headlight right in here. I don't know if you could take a look at that, maybe close in up on that. It's a projection headlight. It's the old Fresnel lens technology, like in the lighthouses. There's a small, really bright LED light, basically, or MR16 light right in there. Projects through this 6-inch magnifying glass, and it's a kind of an old technology, but I brought it up to the future with this one, so it's very bright. The handlebars, fabricated all that, ran all the lines inside there. The hydraulic clutch is inside there, the internal throttle's inside there, and that way everything's nice and hidden. Coming back with the frame, like I said, I hand bent all these tubes with these big beautiful arcs, trying to make it flow from front to back. This tank, the gas tank underneath here, which you can see it's a two-part tank. That gas tank underneath there is actually a 1976 Italian Aramaki Harley-Davidson gas tank. Okay, being I'm Italian, I love the old Italian bikes and I love the shape of that gas tank. So the tank underneath is the one that holds the gasoline, and then this big arch over it, or this cover, you know, this graceful arch you see over it, is a second over there. Now this one does not hold gas, but the bottom one holds the gas inside it. Okay. Coming back into here, you can see the oil bag. It's a two-part oil bag with a crossover. I fabricated that. Flowing into the seat. On the back of the seat, you'll see there's the tail light right there. That has a shock that goes up and down, gives me a little bit of a smoother ride with the hardtail frame. I'm running the 6-speed transmission with a trans brake. Back to an idler sprocket. And when I fabricated the frame, there's no axle adjustments. It's a set axle. In the back right here, you can see there's no adjustment forward or back, so I take the slack out of the chain with the idler sprocket. I hand built all the pegs, all of the levers. My buddy Raymond Scott helped me rebuild the motor with Vince Spadaro, one of the absolute best Harley builders in the country. It's a stock Evolution motor, which we pumped up with a cam, changed the pistons, changed the rings, and then we put the panhead tops on there just to give it an older look. We painted the jugs, polished the cases. But again, it retains a Harley motor. It's a Harley motor, 80-inch motor, with just a bigger cam. Sounds a lot healthier. Bent the pipes. We got these pipes exiting from this side. Typically, pipes are on the right side of the bike. This one, we routed them through here. In doing so, I had to cut down the primary on this side, which you can't see, but if you came around here, you'd see it. I had to actually cut down the primary, the BDL primary plate. I had to fabricate that, which then I had to fabricate the clutch hub, which then I had to hand make this kickstand over here, which you'd see is actually the foot peg. The foot peg pulls out and becomes the kickstand, which you'd see on that side. The rear wheel is a really rare Arlen Ness rear wheel. It's called a Fat 40. It's a single-sided hub, so everything's on this side. The sprocket, you can see I'm running a sprocket here with no brake because the only brake on the bike is right there at the trans brake. So this entire offset slides over this way, and that allows me to put my license plate bracket right inside the wheel. If you focus in on that, you'll see how the license plate bracket's right inside the wheel. That's pretty much the only wheel on the market that'll allow you to do that. Because I went with a 23-inch tire on the front, it's got an enduro tire. You can take a look at that. It's got a more aggressive look. So to match that, what I did was I made my own rear tire. I took a Metzler 240 and I went in there and got a tread maker and actually cut the treads in it and made a more aggressive tire. So if you see this tread pattern, that's custom made by me. You'll never see that tread pattern other than on this bike. That's a 240, custom 240 tire that I actually made the tread on. The seat was made by my friend Keith down at Black Sheep Leather down in Los Gatos. He makes incredible seats. He hand tooled that seat for me. Again on the seat pan. Trying to think anything else.
Let's discuss paint.
Paint. Okay, paint was done by my friend out in Modesto at Creative Customs. It's actually a Escalade white. It's a pearl white. The frame matches the powder coat, which is actually called gold leaf, even though it's more of like a root beer brown. My wife is a color expert. She picked out all the colors on it, and as you can see, it looks really nice together. My kids love it. They nicknamed it the root beer float because of the brown with the cream on the top. We got variegated gold leaf around there with a pinstripe. Again, Creative Customs out in Modesto did an awesome job on the paint. It's the gray, the root beer brown, and the Escalade white. They all look good together, I think.
What companies were instrumental in getting this bike finished?
Well, like I said, rebuilding the engine I think was most important. That was my friend, like I said, Vince Spadaro from Burlingame. Guy does an incredible job on any Harley he touches. He sat there with me and helped me rebuild the motor with my friend Raymond Scott. We took it right down to the cases, and we rebuilt it back from there. That was tremendous. Again, my friend Raymond Scott was awesome in helping me. He hand bent all these copper lines. The polishing was done over in Hayward. Cases were polished by Universal Polishing. All of the chrome was done by Superior Chrome down in San Jose. They did an awesome job, and of course the painter did a great job on it too. But basically everything you see on this was fabricated by me in my garage by hand. No CNC machines, no fancy machinery, all just done with old school tools and by hand. So
Mike, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.